Hey there and welcome. My name is Dr. Jessica, and in today's video, I'm going into part 2 of my series on chronic stress and how it affects your GI system. Now, in this video, we're talking about the functional tests that I use inside of my online course, the Better Health Blueprint. This test is pretty awesome and pretty cool, so stick around and let's dive in. So I use a test from a lab called Genova, and this test is called the GI Effects, the Comprehensive Stool Panel. Yes, it is a stool testing kit, which is an at-home kit that you do. And what it's going to do is give us more insight into if there's any damage or any dysbiosis or anything that has happened to your GI system because of that chronic stress. So let me actually show you what it looks like here. So this test that I like to use, as I mentioned before, is a kit that gets mailed to you as part of my online program, and this is looking at your overall GI system and actually what's going on. So this shows us different areas such as maldigestion, inflammation, if there's any infection or any type of metabolite infection or any dysbiosis. So this is really comprehensive and really looks at all the areas that I previously mentioned in part 1 of the video of things that can actually go wrong when you have chronic stress and it has now affected your GI system. So let's take a look. So the cool thing about this is that it gives us all these different areas, and this is really client friendly because you can actually read this. You don't need to be a doctor yourself to read this and kind of understand what's going on. So first area we kind of look at is maldigestion. So this tells us whether or not you're actually breaking down things properly, whether or not you're having enough kind of digestive enzymes to really break down things. Are you having a lot of undigested fat or undigested foods in your stool? And of course, in order to be able to have a lot of energy and feel your best, you need to be actually breaking down everything so that you can then go on to absorb it. And so this part of the test will tell us whether or not you're doing that appropriately. And then of course, at the bottom here, you'll see that it has some recommendations for kind of what you can do. Now, this is the part where I would say you need to work with a qualified kind of functional medicine practitioner who actually knows, how to use these things and when to use them and what is the appropriate use for that. The next thing it looks at, I talked specifically in part 1 of the video about a lot of inflammation that can occur because of chronic stress, which then causes damage to our gut lining. So this specifically will look and tell us if there's been a lot of assaults to the gut lining, if we need to do some work with repairing that gut lining as well. It'll also give you a little bit of insight into whether you need to maybe think about doing some food allergy or food sensitivity testing as well. These next two columns, so looking at dysbiosis and metabolic imbalance, tells us a lot about our microbiome. Now, again, if you watched part 1 of the video, I talked a lot about how the microbiome really does affect so many things. And then when we are under a lot of chronic stress, our microbiome can become affected, and we tend to have a less diverse microbiome, or either we have an overgrowth of some of the harmful bacteria and not enough of the good stuff. So looking at the dysbiosis and the metabolic imbalance scores will let us know if we need to support the microbiome in some way. And that can be done through diet, so adding in more prebiotics and probiotics through foods, or if you need to, again, think about supplementation, a great time to speak with a functional medicine practitioner to help you with that. And then finally, we can look at things like, do we actually have some sort of infection going on? So this test will look at different types of bacteria and funguses that may be growing in your digestive tract. And if warranted, again, you can seek the proper type of treatment through your practitioner. So this is just one cool way in which I use functional medicine inside of my program, the Better Health Blueprint. Now, again, that program is a combination of an online program that you work through. It's specifically aimed at dealing with stress, anxiety, fatigue, all the symptoms that can come along with being chronically stressed and burnout. So this looking at the GI system is just one of the aspects that we look at. You work through an online program or online course, and then you have coaching calls with me where we kind of work through making necessary dietary and lifestyle changes that'll help you start to feel better. And then, of course, we do some functional testing, so you have a one-on-one access with me where we go over all these functional tests. All right, if you have any questions about that, be sure to click the link below. I'll leave a link where you can learn a little bit more about the program and how it all works. I hope that this video was helpful. Again, if you haven't watched part 1, then go and watch it. And stay tuned for the next video where we'll talk a little bit more about treatment and how to go about working with your GI system and, of course, working with your stress as well. All right, if you have any questions, leave them down below. Please give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and, of course, hit the notification bell so that you can know when I post a new video. I will see you in the next video. Bye.